The Blockchain Blessing, a Jackson, Mississippi story. Part 1. The Shadow of Discontent. Melvin Grant was never flashy, but he was solid, raised in South Jackson just a stone's throw from the Medgar Evers Home Museum by a single mother who believed in faith, food, and following through. He built his life on discipline and sacrifice. He earned a degree in electrical engineering from Jackson State University, where he'd sometimes catch the sonic boom of the South, electrifying Veterans Memorial Stadium on crisp autumn Saturdays. After graduation, he opened a small consulting firm offering energy efficiency solutions for schools, churches, and housing authorities across Mississippi. He wasn't rich, but the bills were paid. Their daughter was in private school. Their home in Belhaven, near the charming streets around the Eudora Welty house, was modest but beautiful, and he handled everything from busted pipes to college savings accounts. Carolyn, however, had a different vision. She saw their life not as a foundation, but as a cage. She viewed Melvin's steady commitment not as a virtue, but as a weakness, a testament to his crippling lack of ambition. She came from a family of loud talkers and bigger dreams. Her sisters married well-off men in Atlanta. Her mama made backhanded compliments about Melvin like, "He's a good man, just not very ambitious." Carolyn worked as a paralegal downtown in the shadow of the Gold Dome, but resented her 9-to-5. She had dreams of luxury brunches, beach vacations, and silk robes, not Walmart runs and crock-pot dinners. Her family egged it on. "Girl, you need to get you a man with some vision. Melvin still driving that dusty Altima? You can't inspire no man who already settled." Melvin heard it all. He smiled through it, thinking his love and loyalty would eventually win them over. It didn't. The whispers of her family were a constant, corrosive poison, echoing Carolyn's own internal disdain for Melvin's smallness. Part 2. The Serpent in the Garden. Melvin tried to give Carolyn everything she needed. When she said she wanted to go on vacation, he started taking extra consulting jobs on weekends. When she said she wanted more excitement, he planned surprise date nights at places like Fondren's high-end restaurants. When she said he didn't understand crypto, he enrolled in a blockchain course at night. Still, nothing was enough. She grew cold. She rolled her eyes when he came home late. She stopped wearing her ring, and when she started dressing differently and hiding her phone, Melvin's gut twisted in dread. The secret life Carolyn was building wasn't just about investing. It was a clandestine affair, fueled by late-night calls and stolen moments. She began to live in shadows, her phone clutched to her chest, her explanations hollow. Percy Vaughn didn't just enter Carolyn's life. He infiltrated it, a predator sensing weakness. He whispered not promises, but carefully crafted illusions, designed to exploit her vanity and greed. But Melvin still tried. He cooked her favorite meals, booked a couples therapy session, even stood outside her job in the electric building with flowers once, just trying to bring back the woman he married. Each unanswered call, each cold glance, each time she recoiled from his touch, tore a deeper wound in Melvin's quiet spirit. He felt the slow, agonizing decay of their marriage, a rot that started from within Carolyn herself. "Melvin," she said flatly one night, "I need a man who sees the world the way I do, not someone trying to keep up from behind." She began to echo Percy's cruel dismissals, telling Melvin he was too small, lacked vision, and was stuck in the past. Words that were not merely observations, but weaponized barbs from her new confidant. Then she dropped the bomb. She had been investing with a man named Percy, a crypto expert she'd met online. She claimed she needed to follow her dreams. Melvin was too small for the life she wanted. And just like that, she left. No tears, no discussion, just a suitcase, a cold goodbye, and silence. Her departure was not just cold, it was a deliberate act of erasure, a final, contemptuous discarding of the man who had given her everything. Part 3. The Bitter Harvest. Melvin spiraled. He'd been a good man, a faithful man. And now he was alone in the house they once decorated together, staring at her empty side of the bed. Their daughter, confused and scared, asked him why Mommy didn't come home. He wanted to hate Carolyn, but all he felt was grief. He replayed moments, her smile at their wedding, their first dance in the living room, the time she cried on his chest after her mother's surgery. He thought it had meant something. For weeks he went to work broken, quiet, hollowed out. He was the kind of man who didn't let people see him cry. But he wept behind locked office doors and in the driver's seat of his car, sometimes even pulling over near LaFleur's Bluff State Park just to clear his head. The worst part? Her family doubled down. You can't blame Carolyn. She tried. You just couldn't level her up. Crypto's the future. You stuck in the past. They had no idea that Melvin was quietly studying blockchain harder than most so-called experts. They had no clue he was building something big behind the scenes. They saw a man in pain, but missed the fire he was quietly stoking. Meanwhile, Carolyn's new reality quickly soured. The facade crumbled with terrifying speed. Percy's glamour evaporated, revealing the desperate cornered con artist beneath. His anger, once a controlled simmer, now boiled over, directed solely at Carolyn, blaming her for his collapsing world. Within weeks, the rented Tesla was gone. The party stopped, and Percy grew angry and distant. Just as she had abandoned Melvin without a backward glance, Percy vanished, leaving Carolyn adrift in a desolate landscape of her own making. No job, no savings, only the bitter taste of betrayal and the chilling echo of her own past actions. Part 4. The Ascent from Ash. And then, Delta Chain was born. Late one night, while scribbling designs on a whiteboard in his basement, Melvin stumbled on a concept, a way to make blockchain technology far more energy efficient and scalable. Not a coin, not a quick trade. A system, something real. He filed a patent. Within months, venture capitalists came calling. Tech firms wanted to license his protocol. Universities wanted him to guest lecture. Melvin launched Delta Chain Technologies and built a world-class team. He moved from Jackson to Madison, bought a fleet of company cars, and began donating to local schools and HBCUs like Jackson State, funding scholarships for engineering students who might one day contribute to the next sonic boom of innovation. At the heart of this was Angela Reese, a sharp, kind, unshakable woman who had been his executive admin from the early days. Angela was everything Carolyn was not. A woman of quiet strength and unwavering integrity, who saw Melvin's true worth before the world did. She didn't seek to mold him or mock his smallness. She nurtured his vision, a stark contrast to the venomous ambition that had nearly destroyed him. She believed in Melvin before anyone else did. She kept the books, built the HR system, even kept his daughter after school some nights. Their bond turned into something deeper, something earned. She didn't chase money or hype. She supported vision and integrity. Part 5. The Echo of Karma. 2 years after Carolyn's exit, they crossed paths again, outside a Whole Foods in Ridgeland. Melvin was getting coffee with Angela. Carolyn was applying for a part-time catering job inside. Her makeup couldn't hide the fatigue. The sparkle in her eyes was gone. She looked over and saw Melvin stepping into a custom Tesla, holding hands with a woman glowing with purpose. He walked in, not just successful, but utterly transformed. A man forged in the fires of betrayal, now radiating a quiet power and contentment Carolyn had actively scorned. Angela, glowing with a genuine joy that no least luxury could emulate, clung to his arm, a living testament to the true wealth Melvin had built, not in fleeting tokens, but in enduring values. He didn't smirk. He didn't gloat. He simply gave her a kind nod, the kind that said, "I made it, even after you left me in the dark." The sight was a brutal mirror, reflecting the desolation of her choices. Carolyn's breath hitched, a wave of nausea washing over her as she grasped the horrifying truth. She hadn't just lost a man. She had abandoned a dynasty. Carolyn went home that night and cried harder than she ever had. Not because of the money, not because of the car, but because she finally realized the man she thought wasn't enough had become everything she ever wanted for someone else. The tears that streamed down Carolyn's face that night were not merely tears of regret, but of bitter, agonizing self-recrimination. She had traded a diamond for dust, a true king for a fleeting mirage, and the agonizing truth was that she alone had orchestrated her own downfall. Her mother called later that night. "You seen what Melvin done built?" "I didn't know he had it in him." Carolyn just stared at the ceiling and whispered, "Me neither." Even her mother's voice on the phone, tinged with a reluctant awe about what Melvin done built, was a final, ironic twist of the knife. Carolyn had chased their shallow validation, only to find herself utterly alone in her ruin while the man they dismissed soared. Epilogue. Real love wins. Melvin and Angela married in a small lakeside ceremony surrounded by friends, colleagues, and Melvin's now thriving daughter. Carolyn wasn't invited, but she sent a card. "I'm sorry. You deserved more than I gave you. I wish you peace." Melvin didn't reply. He didn't need to. He had peace. He had love. And he had a billion-dollar company born from betrayal and built on belief. Melvin's card, sent not out of pity but a quiet strength born from true healing, was a final, devastating blow. No hard feelings. Life teaches. Be well. It wasn't forgiveness in the way Carolyn understood it, but a declaration of his own untouchable peace, a testament to a legacy built from the very rubble of her betrayal.